In this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to conduct a simple lighting analysis to check the characteristics of your project and how they align with a commonly adopted building performance standard, and that's LEED. So what's LEED? If you guys type LEED into Google, this is what you will see. So it's a rating system devised by the United States. And it's to evaluate the environmental performance of a building. In order to get credits towards sustainable design of your project, you got to satisfy specific requirements, and one of these is the lighting requirement. So you can achieve this in Revit. And to do that, if I go to Analyze and then click on Lighting, again, that's under Insight. You guys won't see that if you haven't downloaded that from Autodesk, so you got to download Insight from Autodesk. The beautiful thing about the lighting analysis is it's conducted in the cloud, so even though you've got access to it via Revit, the actual analysis takes place in the cloud. Over here, this is a panel which shows you all the steps that you gotta undertake. So the first step is to prepare your model, and part of that involves setting the project location in Manage. So if we go to Manage and then click on Location, so you can select the project location. So that's how you select your project location. If I go back to lighting, the second step is to define surface and glazing materials. And the beautiful thing is that if I click on that, so if you click on any of these, it's going to take me to a link, and that link will give you more information about what to do for each of these steps. So you guys can use that if you're stuck, but I'll quickly show you how to do that. So for each of the windows, because this is where the biggest impact on the lighting is going to be. So the lighting analysis basically takes into consideration how much of light from the sun actually passes into your building, so into the inside of the building. So your windows are gonna be the major factor when it comes to the lighting analysis. Now for the window, the property that we're concerned with is the glass panel material. So if I click on that, on the properties of the glass, I can specify the exact nature of that glass. So one way of doing that is if I duplicate that and I say glass type 1, and I go to the appearance tab. Now the color over here has been chosen as clear. You can change that to custom, and playing around with the color. So the darker the color, the harder it is for the light to pass through it. And if we were to select a lighter color, maybe the importance of that is in the calculation of, and I'll show you that in a second. So it's in the calculation of the measure used to determine how much light goes into the building from the sun. So if we click on OK, click Apply. So this is what you gotta do. You gotta select the individual appearance for the glass that's making up the panels of the windows. And the importance of that is if we go back to the lighting and click on surface and glazing materials, again, this gives you instructions on how to set up the glazing. Now there's this measure which is called the visible transmittance, the TVI, and the way this is calculated is using the color that you associate with the glazing material for the window, just like I showed you. So it's important that you set this up. Again, as I said, if you were to adopt a darker color, it's gonna be harder for the sunlight to pass through your buildings. The third step is to define your rooms. Again, this is something that we'd already covered in a previous video, so you make sure each of the rooms have been tagged, and this basically helps the model associate a definition with each of the spaces occupied by a certain wall inside the building. And then the last step is actually conducting the analysis. So to conduct the analysis, click on continue. And it's going to ask you if you want to conduct a new analysis, so you just press go. And then it's going to take a while. So these are the analysis types. So if we go to lead and we select the levels, so ground floor, and let's check the price. So the price basically is how much of credit you need on the cloud. Now 0 credits are needed. It's because my version is an education version, and you guys should have the same education version as well. But usually for massive projects you'd require a specific credit which you have to purchase on the cloud. In our case, because it's a simple project and we're using that for education purposes, 0 credits were required. So after checking the price, you can start the analysis. You can also choose to email yourselves the results once complete. So if we go start analysis, and we give it some time. So as you will notice, the analysis is complete. There's a lighting analysis model view that appears in order to display results. So you gotta wait for it to accomplish its to accomplish the run. In the next video, I'll show you how to analyze the results once they're ready.